Hello and welcome to CXM. My name is David Dungay. I'm here with Julia Fraser from Cinch. How are you doing, Julia?
Very well. Enjoying the show.
Good, yeah, it's been a good show. New location this year, and lots of interesting things coming out of the Cinch camp, actually. I did want to talk to you about one in particular. You've been on stage earlier with one of your customers, IGH, the hotel chain. Tell me, what were the key themes from that session? What were Cinch really bringing to that kind of the hotel and your partner relationship?
Yeah. So it was a really great conversation. We just finished about 20 minutes ago. So IHG have over 5,000 properties globally. They're a really big scaled enterprise organization. It was a conversation jointly with us, Cinch, IHG, the resort group, and then Genesis, the contact center provider. And so we were focusing on why they needed to change. And it was the typical things you see and hear. They weren't getting a great call response rate. They were having problems getting to resolution, really important metric in the call center world. And they were having a problem with quality of voice. And so Genesis actually was early in that sort of deal cycle on that relationship, and we came in to provide the voice network. Cinch has one of the largest voice networks in North America. That's our own owned asset and very high quality. And so we provided a great cutover experience. One of the big risks in a call center actually is switching out the telephony. So we switched that out in 2 months for IHG and gave them a much better call quality. So we talked a lot about the relationship and the partnership. The brand is really important to us and Genesis, so you've got two partners working together, and we had good examples actually just operationally now in life, how that's working really well for IHG. And so we had the head of their call center environment, and she takes a big personal risk when she makes a change or a decision like that to change something. And so she was there singing our praises actually and giving really good feedback.
Amazing. So, we're talking about voice. There was another big announcement from Cinch this week, Voice Relay. Tell us about that. What is that bringing to them? Quite a different market these days, especially around the AI as well.
Yeah. So Voice Relay we announced yesterday. It's currently in closed beta, so call it like an incubator product right now. I've got a handful of customers working on it. What it does is it brings voice capability to AI. So in the past, AI in that call center environment has been very much a text. You might be using a chatbot and getting text back. There are lots of use cases where voice is a better medium or channel to communicate, but you still, as the owner of the call center or the end client, you still want to use your LLM environment, your AI processes and things that you've developed for yourself. So Voice Relay allows you to switch backwards and forwards between text and voice while maintaining your AI capability. And in fact, it's a bring your own type product. So we don't mandate to anyone which AI, which LLM you want to use. We use what you want, what you will, and what you want to use. And we enable that whole creating the voice. So we've talked a lot over the last 24 hours about how voice is back and how we can give voice to AI.
It's nice that voice is back in a lot of ways. We thought it might go away at one point. I think I've written about 17 articles that say voice is dead, but it's not. Very nice not. So good. So let's talk about the show quickly. We've obviously mentioned AI, which is everywhere. What have been your observations this year from the show? What's really stood out to you?
Well, like you said earlier, it's in a new venue. It's actually a lovely venue, and so I think there's a lot of pull to have the show here in Las Vegas and a lot of other shows adjacent at the same time, which is interesting for companies like Cinch. Of course, I've heard a lot about AI, like you said. I've heard more actually about AI deployments that are working. There's that kind of overused MIT stat that 95% of these programs don't work. I'm actually starting to see them work, but I think the defining piece of that is for organizations and end customers having really clear metrics and KPI and success criteria about their AI programs. So I've heard more about that than I've done in other events, last year or prior. So I think the hype's probably over, the reality's dawning.
So is this the year AI got real?
Maybe. I think it's still probably got a lot of way to go because you've got early adopters, typically organizations with maturity and depth in their IT environment. I think mid-market SMB is a completely different kettle of fish and will take longer.
Julia, thank you so much for joining me. Enjoy the rest of the show.
Thank you very much. Thanks.
And thank you for watching. You've been watching me, David Dungay, on CXM.